amplified pattern recognition.
Why does the universe exist? We're about 5 light cycles away from the answer.
Welcome to Think Tank. This is a podcast where in each episode we pick a topic and then we discuss it with industry professionals and thought leaders in that industry. I'm Josh Gonzalez.
And I'm Braden Drew. And we're the hosts of Think Tank. This is episode 5, where we're talking to Krishna, the CEO of GetView. That's GetView. Where we'll be talking about his augmented reality company. His company aims to build a wearable headset to aid the warehouse workers in companies like Amazon.com to help them locate products in the warehouse with ease. The device will use 3D arrows to guide the workers to the products, which will be highlighted.
In addition to Krishna's company, we'll also be talking about augmented reality and how it's going to totally change this industry and how it's going to change many other industries. We'll be bringing up ideas, philosophies, processes, among other things, and just try to get different perspectives on this topic. This episode was recorded in San Francisco, California at River Ventures, but the intro was recorded back home in our studios in Toronto. Let's get right into it. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your company?
So I'm Krishna. I am the Chief Operating Officer in GetView, and I handle the business side of things, the non-R&D strategic things like product management, marketing, business development, and investor relationships. Our company, it started as a small Android application company, and we started making small apps. And in the meanwhile, we started tinkering with augmented reality because we were curious, I guess.
Using cell phones?
Yes, cell phones. It was on mobile. And we thought, how could it be if we could integrate gesture recognition into augmented reality? And that's when we got in touch with Leap Motion. So we got their sensor, we started playing around with it, we started integrating gesture recognition into AR, and that got us selected to their Leap Motion Accelerator program. And so we moved here to San Francisco in 2013 to attend their program. But at that point of time, we were building an augmented reality headset, something like Hololens and the SART. So, I mean, we created an Iron Man in AR.
Like from first person, like you are Tony Stark?
Or you could talk to Tony Stark.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
So cool. It's like hologram, like full person right in front of you using a head-mounted display?
right. That's what we did.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes. So we tried creating that into a hardware product and selling it. And when we were exploring other options of taking augmented reality into business, we came across the warehouse space. And we said, hey, the technology that we have can solve problems for warehouses easily. And that's when we pivoted to enterprise applications in AR.
And it's great too because you don't need a huge consumer market. You just go right to businesses, and they're willing to pay for something that'll solve their problems.
Exactly. So we found out that in warehouses, people waste a lot of time in trying to manually identify products. You know, warehouses have these large spaces, and if you were given a product to pick, you would have to literally walk around 1 million square feet area and identify manually for a product. And this takes a lot of time. It kills time, and time is money for companies like Amazon and Wal-Mart. So we thought, hey, we can solve this problem with augmented reality glasses that give pickers a hands-free and easy solution to search, identify, and pick products inside a warehouse. We're like a Google Maps in a warehouse.
So that'll definitely speed up a lot of the time in search, and it'll save the company so much money. Now, in terms of the warehouse, would that be like where they have the mass amount of products before they ship it to the store? Or do you also have the augmented reality in the store itself for consumers looking to also buy products?
We are looking at fulfillment centers, that is inside the warehouses. I mean, we are looking at those applications where time is the most criteria, where each second saved can earn billions of dollars for companies. But what we see is that as prices and the technologies mature for head-mounted displays and glasses, it can be used anywhere.
So you're just breaking into this market, but obviously, what's the larger vision of the company?
So we believe that augmented reality, many people approach augmented reality with the notion that says, hey, this is cool, let me do it. But we think, hey, this is not just cool, this is the best way to solve a problem, and there's no other way to do it more efficient than this.
Right, like you don't want to pull out your phone for Google Maps. You just want a map, like a mini map up in the top left screen, walking around. It'll show you exactly where you are in the world.
You want the HUD. You want that heads-up display.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm going to surprise you by saying that you won't be seeing a 2D screen. You will be seeing real-life arrows that will be guiding you through the warehouse. Not a map. You will be following three-dimensional objects.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of you, walking in front of you, moving in with you, and guiding you to the point. So you don't need to remember where to go. You don't need to remember which turn to take. You just follow arrows. That's it.
Sounds like a real-life video game.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. And the arrows, they don't take up any physical space. It's just on the app itself.
Yeah.
So the whole guiding system is just built on the application. And you don't need security cameras and anything gaining the data to show you where to go and out mapping it with GPS. It's just right there on the display.
Now that you mentioned GPS, unlike other solutions which use wireless technologies like GPS or Wi-Fi or radio frequency, we do not need any of those. We just put a sensor on your leg and that's it.
That's it?
That's it. We can track your position
Wow.
wherever you are in the warehouse. It could be a 1,000,000 square feet warehouse, but we'll know where you are.
So where does it connect to?
We developed a sensor that can track your motion, that can track the steps that you take. It's something similar to you go for a walk or a run and it measures your steps, right? This does the same thing. And what we do on the back end is we add up your steps and the direction in which you walk to know where you are in the warehouse.
Wow. So it doesn't even need to connect to a phone or anything.
No, you don't need it. You don't even need a phone.
Can you connect the phone to it so you can use it as like a secondary screen? Like maybe use it as, let's say you have the heads-up display and you have like a screen in front of you, but now you want to type in, so you can just pull out your phone and use that maybe as a keyboard and mouse while you have the display just on the glasses and projecting to your eyes.
Like if you were trying to switch between finding two different products that are in two vastly different locations, would there be like a search function enabled? Like would you have the pop-up in the HUD and like how would you like type in a certain object, or would it be like a picture of it and you just be like, I want to find this object in the warehouse, and then the arrows would change?
So what traditionally happens in a warehouse is pickers are given, or I would say the right word would be assigned, a list of products, a sequential list of products that they need to pick. So all that the picker does today is he monotonously walks and identifies where the product is, picks it, puts it into a cart that he is pushing, and goes on to the next item in the list. So what we do is we get that information. So let's say, there's a warehouse management software which tells the picker today what to pick and in which order you need to pick. So now our glass talks to this warehouse management software and it guides this picker automatically. He does not need to say, hey, I finished picking this. Can you show me the next item? No, it's intelligent enough to know you've picked this. So this is the next item. This is the route you need to take. This is the time you would take.
Wow. So what made you guys want to actually do your own hardware rather than using a Google Glass or like waiting for a Microsoft HoloLens? Like what made you like, I see an opportunity here. We wanted to bring this in our own hands and develop the actual hardware, because there's a reason they call it hardware, right? It's very freaking hard to make.
True. I mean, but something more strategic reason is that we want our solution to work on all available smart glasses. Because if you observe the hardware market today, especially in the smart glasses, it's evolving. There's no fixed specifications that say, hey, this is what is expected in a smart glass. Look at Microsoft HoloLens, and look at Google Glass, and look at ODG R6. All of them are smart glasses, all of them give augmented reality, but they're three completely different glasses.
Right. Have you tried the HoloLens before?
All three of them.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed by it. Like the field of view was very, very small, right? It's like you're looking through a little screen. How does yours compare to that? Is it like full field of view? Is it completely take up your whole field of view?
We are working today on the ODG R6, and it has got around a 25 to 30 degree diagonal field of view. That's good enough to show you information that you want to pick products, and that's small enough to not obstruct your entire view when you're
Right.
walking and working in a warehouse.
Yeah, because they still need to work. They still got to do their
Exactly.
thing. Yeah. Do you guys have audio as well? In your...
Yes, we have audio as well.
What's your audio solution like? Is it like the Hololens, where it's just, I think it's just vibrating through the skulls?
No, since we don't use our custom hardware, we give them a plug-in earphones that they can plug in into any available jack that they have.
Right. But what if there's like really long cables? Like maybe wireless would work.
Yeah, wireless or
Whatever
Bluetooth
works.
speakers could work
Right.
too.
Cool. And then there's gesture control as well. Because you said you were like working with Leap Motion, right? Have you implemented that at all?
Right. So we debated on this, and then we realized that actually gesture control is not needed for pickers. So we make it so intuitive that you don't interact with the glass. You don't even feel that there is a glass that's helping you out. You feel as if you're working without any support, but you work much more efficient and faster than ever.
Yeah, keep it very natural, right?
Right, keep it very natural. So our core philosophy is this. We don't want to make you feel that there's one more gadget between you and your work. We want to have one gadget that's so seamlessly integrated into your working life that you don't realize it's there, but you see the benefits of it.
So it's almost like an AI, like seamless helper that's just piggybacking on the own biological organism that's wearing it. So then it's almost like an education tool that right now you're tinkering towards warehouse life, but it could just as easily be like you're staring at like a panel of buttons, and then it'll tell you which ones to press to start certain things in a factory or in a warehouse, and it's very versatile in terms of the education that it could bring.
True. I mean, if I were to tell you a use case of how it actually is used in a warehouse, let's say a picker wears this glass and he just presses one button which says start. That's it. So the pick list is automatically loaded onto his screen and he picks the first item in the pick list. So once he picks it, so he has a small thumb mounted button that he just presses to pick a pick list. And once he selects the item, he automatically sees arrows that are guiding him. So the only thing that he needs to do is follow the arrows. So you follow the arrows, you reach the spot where the product is, and we automatically know that you've reached the area or the vicinity of the product. And that's when we highlight the exact product you need to pick. This is something that nobody else in the world can do right now. We highlight the exact product you need to pick. So the only thing that you need to do is reach out your hands and pick it up.
It alleviates all of the brain power that you actually need to do to work on it, and just figure out on getting the package, putting it where it needs to go, and it just speeds things
And
up.
it eliminates human error where you grab the wrong product, which slows things up, and you have to go back, put it back, grab the next one.
What was another use case you guys thought of for this, like in the warehouse specifically?
Yeah, I mean, this is a picking process. There's one more process called put walls. That is something. So here, I mean, there's a conveyor belt that brings all of these products, and there's one guy who's taking this and putting it onto orders boxes. And that today is the bottleneck. And the important reason why a Christmas gift is not coming on Christmas, but on the next day. Yeah. So
So that's the problem, right? So that's
Yes.
So that's the area you need to speed up, and that's what you need to figure out to make better and innovate that process. Once you figure out that one process, you get the entire holistic approach to it.
Right.
So you guys are just focusing on warehouse right now.
We are creating augmented reality for enterprises, starting with warehouses.
Okay.
So I would say warehouses is the first market that we're concentrating on.
Right, then you get the data, how much money they're saving, how much time they're saving,
The
and how are you
metrics,
keeping
yeah.
all that data and making sure that you're actually using that to show an investor or showing your next potential client.
So what we're doing in the next couple of months is we have pilot programs scheduled with one of the top warehouses in the United States. And once we deploy our solution in their warehouses, we're going to get a ton amount of data. We're going to know exactly how much time that we can save for them, exactly how fast is our solution compared to a normal standard solution, and that will be that will be a one important information for us to convince other customers and investors.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, the next thing you could probably work on is a huge problem in the workforce is work safety. You can almost have an implication of education and into the glasses where it could highlight dangerous things and problematic things that could hurt the employer.
They've been using virtual reality. I'm sure augmented reality would work the same, where when a fork truck driver comes into work in the morning, they actually do a test with him to see if he's alert enough and he's awake enough to actually do the tasks. And if he fails the simulation, then obviously he's not ready.
That's a nice use case. I think we need to think on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things you can do. I mean, as long as you build your core product. We talked with Anton from GeoCV about it. He's just worrying about his capture solution. So what's your like core like technology or the core essence of your company where you can kind of expand out of that?
Right. So we can place AR objects without using any cameras. So all existing solutions today use cameras. They could be special cameras like depth cameras.
HoloLens as well?
Yes, HoloLens has got Intel RealSense depth camera inside
on the
Yes.
display. Okay.
Yes, on the display. Or you could use a normal camera and do image processing, but we do none of that. We have an innovative solution that can place an AR object using position information. And that is our core technology.
That's cool. And you guys just started with just doing Android versions of that?
Yes, as of today, it's deployable on any Android glass, smart glass.
Oh, which ones are available right now?
So right now, R6 and R7 of ODG.
Oh, really? Where can anybody just buy that as a consumer product or just enterprise?
Right. So today, the manufacturer of those glasses, ODG, is releasing it only to enterprises, and it makes sense for the enterprises.
Yeah, totally. Do you see this going to like a consumer market and everyone just using these glasses for different applications?
Definitely. Like today, it may not happen, but next year, yes, we definitely see it.
Really? As soon as next year?
Yes, I mean next year or the end of next year, it's definitely going to happen as there is a rapid evolution in smart glass technologies. I mean, come on, Magic Leap just raised, I don't get the number, $867 million to create augmented reality glasses. So I am pretty much sure they're not going to wait 2 to 3 years to bring that out. No, it's going to come out next year.
For devs at the very least.
Yes, for devs at the very least.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys want to get your hands on that and start playing around with it.
Yes, I mean, we want to build software for that too. We are modifying our technology to use all the inbuilt sensors of any glass. So, I mean, to state that, with R7, the latest version of ODG, we do not need any external sensor to make it to work.
That's very versatile in terms of a piece of hardware. And I was just wondering how you can tailor the glass in terms of people who wear glasses and maybe need a prescription, or people who are colorblind. If you see you're outlining the product in like a color, will there be a way to set or tweak the settings on that so it can be like able for everyone to use it?
So we're going to launch a product with R7. And if you've seen R7, it's wonderful. The best feature of R7 is you can fit a corrective lens on it, and you can experience the same augmented reality. So your correction lenses is taken care of, and you still feel you can still experience augmented reality.
Yes, there's a huge value proposition there. I mean, people who don't even use glasses will want these with just clear lenses to overlay. But then people who actually have cataract syndrome or like
people who need glasses.
Let's just say, like if you have short-sighted vision or you're nearsighted or farsighted, then you can also go a step further and add information on top of that. So I guess it's just the information that's being displayed and like all that data too that's being processed. How do you guys like deal with all the data and process that all?
Right. So that's one of the biggest challenges today, because we have a database that runs on top of warehouse's existing database. That sort of does the handshake between our glasses and their database, which is much more important. So you need to have a continuous supply of picking data or product data that's coming from the warehouse management softwares to the glass. And our database and our servers do the job.
Could you also use the glass, like I'm just thinking like in the future, the way it has the heads-up display, in a way where it could replace like just general mapping if you wanted to try to find a certain location in general. As long as you had that leg and it was in the vicinity of your sensor, you'd be able to read where they are in a three-dimensional space. So it could also be used in like almost as a better on-the-ground GPS.
Yes, of course, you could do that. For example, when the glasses become affordable for individual people and for consumers or for such sort of applications, yes, it becomes a mainstream. So we see augmented reality becoming the mainstream in the next few years. We don't see it. We don't have a 10-year or 5-year horizon. I would say I would put it up to 2 years when augmented reality becomes so mainstream that you find it difficult not having one.
Wow, for like everyday people or just like in the enterprise?
No, everyday people.
Really? In 2 years, you think everyone will have augmented reality?
Of course, of course.
Do you think like Apple is going to come up with something like that and that's where it's going to be? Or do you think it's just an Android power? Like what does that look like? What does the system even look like?
I mean, the way the AR, the hardware and the software is maturing is a way lot different from what happened to mobile. Now with AR, what people realized very early on is that there are going to be a huge spectrum, a broad spectrum of people using it. So there are high-end glasses like ODG and Microsoft HoloLens right now, which cater to the enterprises. So these glasses typically cost northward of $1,000 per piece. But at the same time, you have augmented reality glasses which cost much, much lesser. All of them give augmented reality experience. Having said that, yes, the quality might differ, but you are going to have an experience.
So that's kind of like the Google Cardboard to the HTC Vive sort of thing.
Exactly.
That's very eye-opening because I almost hate the task of always having to pull up my phone whenever I'm trying to navigate or find a place. And for it just to be on my face and accessible like that easy, and it's just telling me all I have to do is look at the information and just follow directions. It's like almost very intuitive and very natural. Like it'll definitely meld into the normal everyday life.
Yeah, a lot more practical than virtual reality where it completely like just blocks out everything. Like, you can still use this in your everyday life. Like even think of like while you're cooking, you can have like the information of exactly what you need to do, exactly how long you need to cook things for. Or I know there's a website called What's in My Fridge. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Basically, what you do is you type in everything on your phone that you have in your fridge and the amount, the quantity. It'll tell you everything that you can actually cook with those, with all those ingredients. So if you can have that with an augmented reality kind of display where it just scans it, tells you exactly what you can make. Okay, now here's how to make it, and then boom.
And even its location in the fridge.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and the location
Yeah.
in the fridge.
I definitely see this happening. So what we see is augmented reality is not just the future of information delivery. That's what people have been thinking. But augmented reality is the future of human-machine interactions. In the future, you wouldn't need a computer. You wouldn't need a cell phone. You would just have one thin glass that you would wear, and all of that information that used to happen today is going to happen on.
Right, but I was thinking about that too. My only problem with that, you still need an input-output solution. Like, yes, you can use gesture controls and tap on things, but what happens when you need to type things? I think the phone is still great for that. When you think of the phone compared to like a computer, before you would have your monitor, you'd have your stack, your computer, then you'd also have a keyboard and a mouse. Now, all of that is on your one display. You have a keyboard, you have your mouse, which is just tapping, all in your phone. So you still need something where you can maybe type in and still select. And obviously the voice control can be on the glasses, but you need somewhere to type or something. Or do you think it will just be all voice gesture control?
Apart from voice, so you said about voice, that's awesome, so voice control.
It's more intuitive, yeah.
Yeah, that's more intuitive.
You'd
But
rather
if you
talk
wanna-
to someone
Right.
than type to them, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But if you want to type, the other day I came across a solution that says, hey, we show you a keyboard in augmented reality and you can swipe on it. You've seen the swipe application on...
Oh, like Swift key.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Something like Swift. So you can see a keyboard in augmented reality, you swipe on it, and it just throws out the words.
Right.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that would be so much better. You don't even have to pull it out. I didn't even think of it. See,
Nothing
that's...
to pull out. It's
No, I
almost-
know. It's true. It's just
becoming
right
more
there. You just press a
natural,
button.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so much more natural. Would there be haptic feedback? Do you see haptic feedback in augmented reality at all?
Of course, of course. The other day at the IEEE Augmented Reality conference, there was this gentleman. I don't know to recollect the company name, but they were creating a hand-based haptic feedback. So let's say you carry a sword. Let's say you're playing a game in augmented reality. You have a sword. So when you swipe it around, you can feel the pressure of it. You can see the weight of it. You can feel the weight of it as if you're carrying a real sword. That's
unbelievable. That's
exactly
so cool.
That's so
it just
cool.
connects with the glasses.
Right.
Wow, that's. I do see augmented reality being way bigger than virtual reality. I mean, I'm so in love with virtual reality for what it is, but like, there's just something about augmented reality.
The immersion almost goes against virtual reality in the long run because people don't like being completely taken out of the reality
and cut out of
and
reality.
Just augmenting it and tweaking it to where you can streamline your efficiency or just make things easier in general is something the public eats up like crazy. Making things easier is what everyone's looking for. And
I'm waiting for the day where you go into a conference and you look around the room and their LinkedIn, Facebook profile is just kind of hovering over them. Here are the people I'm connected with. Oh, John, okay, it's green over there, and then everyone else is just red. Okay, so John's out in the corner there. Okay, I'm connected with him. Let's go see him. Then you know exactly where he is. Like, hey, man, what's up? Like, I'm waiting for that day.
I think for me, what I would mainly use it for is for seeing ratings, especially when it goes to trying to find where you want to go for like food and stuff. I hate always having to pull up my phone and upload Yelp and scroll through. I'd rather that rating be just right there outside the front of that restaurant. And then you just look around and you're like, oh, no. And then it could just highlight something you want.
Or favorite them.
You could even have a filter where you could be like nothing below 3 stars or no, won't even highlight up on your thing. And if you can look with your heads-up display, it'll be like things that are like a large cluster of things of 4-star and plus. You can just start directing you in there where it thinks that you'll find food that you like. And if it's just anything like Google, it'll remember the choices and things that you pick, and then it'll try to find an algorithm or something where it'll put you in a certain area where it'll think you'll enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Speaking of that data and like Google using that data for you, it's awesome that it's personalized for you. But like, I just want to get your opinion on it. I don't think it's evil, but I guess they need to make money somehow.
It is invasive.
It's invasive. That's what I'm trying to get at, where they're using that data for you and they can kind of profile you. Is that dehumanizing or is it just adding to the experience?
Well, I look at it as an important step in bringing you much more better experiences. Just imagine if Google would not have done that, you wouldn't have all of this artificial intelligence, you would not have machine learning. So all of this have been happening because they have been monitoring data. So yes, you try to say that, okay, my data is valuable, and you don't need to take it, but at the end of the day, you are benefiting from the whole technology, and that's important. Yeah.
It is very important.
True.
It's almost like a give and take. You want them to be able to use your data for something that's a positive.
Right.
And they seem to be doing that. It's not really like a negative. Like Google's whole prophecy and premise behind their company is very positive and eye-opening. So I'm fine with them using me as a statistic and gaining data on it.
How come not Facebook then, man?
I don't trust Facebook. I don't know
why. We were just there today.
I don't know.
Awesome
They're just too
place.
socially oriented, and it's not as broad as a goal as I'd like it to be. Anyway, that's just my biased opinion.
People,
that's my biased opinion. Anyway, I don't mind with Google. They're just trying to do their own like information collective, and that's just a part of it. What we click and choose on, and creating an AI, you need that. You need intelligence that already exists, and then just on a platform. And the better way to do it is just to monitor people who use their stuff.
True. I would completely agree with that. I mean, imagine it's Christmas and you're walking down Union Square and crossing Macy's. So Google knows that you have a hit list on Google Keep that says, okay, I need to get a winter jacket. And it senses that information and tells you, hey, Josh, you want to buy a winter jacket and you're close to Macy's? And I'm going to give you a 20% off, especially for you at Macy's. Go get it. Now, yes, so if you ask me, yes, Google is using your personal information, and you may not like using your personal information, but at the end of the day, wow, look at that kind of personal experience you're getting out of it. And I would trade my data for this.
Absolutely, because it's personalizing it and it's giving you things you would like. I'd rather get things I would actually be interested in than getting random ads for stuff I would never want to buy. If it's relevant to you, all the power to you. I really don't see them using your personal data for anything malicious. I don't know, like, it's hard to tell. No one really knows what's going on. But
building some secret government profiles on
well, they
who's
do.
extreme and hostile. But at the end of the day, the people who have the power to use that much data in a collective, they can already hurt you or harm you in any way.
They could have done it already. Yeah.
They're not going to use it that way. They're just trying to generate a better user experience on a wider scale of users.
Right. I think they're just trying to provide value to everyone. It's kind of hard to do that when you have to pay for it. So it has to be free for the end user, but they need to generate revenue somehow.
True.
They need it, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for you, you're doing straight up enterprise, so you're going to be getting the money right from there.
Exactly.
And I feel like when it comes in terms of augmented reality and AR in general, because it doesn't take you completely out of our reality, I think it's going to be better as an educational tool because you can't completely block out your instructor. You want to still see the people around you and have those social connections. So then if you're all looking at something through the glass that you're going through, it's more of a natural flow rather than a disconnect of everyone putting on their Oculus headsets or it's completely closing you in this bubble unless you have the interconnection where everyone can be digitally animated in that space where you can just keep it the same with the AR because it has both. It has our normal reality and then it's just slightly tweaked to help us.
Yeah, it's like turning the dial on reality. Just bringing it up a notch, getting that extra.
Right. I have a slightly. I agree on this, but I have a slightly different take on this. I look at education as not just making people, aware of technology or education or subject matters. It's a overall development of people into becoming citizens, good citizens, and socially acceptable citizens. That's more important. The part of being socially relevant is important. So if you wear virtual reality and, okay, spend some time in the classroom, you're not going to know how to interact with human beings. And that's not one of the motives of education and going to school. You can sit at your home and take classes. You can always do that, but one of the key reasons of going to school is to mingle with people, is to make relationships, make friends, and learn together with people and participate in a discussion. And that's much more important thing, which AR can bring in.
It's way better. The segregation is what I always fight against. I feel like the more immersion and cohesion that everyone has, the better experience it is and the more quality it is for everyone. And AR just allows you to bring that another step further for things that maybe you can't bring into the classroom or things that you can't really show on that massive a scale or maybe tweak. It's just it's a new tool in like the arsenal of teachers and anyone there out there who wants to use AR for pretty much anything because it's just tweaking reality. So
yeah, but then we get in the whole virtual reality discussion where like you can just do anything with it. Yeah, augmented reality, you can do anything, but you have to find the perfect use cases first. How will this solve real world problems? How is it going to be socially responsible? And how are we going to generate value?
And I feel like that's what's a huge problem with VR is because they're not starting from like the fundamental why or a problem. It's just kind of like a giant immersive space that they're creating. And it's just like they're missing a lot of slow progression where you build up rules and laws and fundamental things that you can't do that will ruin the experience. Where in an AR, you start off with that so you can solve a certain problem so it'll fit in almost more cleanly and seamlessly into the integration.
Right. That being said, like, did you just come up with like, well, you obviously didn't come up with, but did you like try to pinpoint a problem first? Or were you like, we have this technology, let's do cool things with it, then find out a problem that we can solve? Or was it the opposite where like there's a problem and augmented reality can solve this?
Quite honestly, we started out with building a cool glass in AR and it did not succeed. And then we started out saying, okay, now that we have learned the lessons, let me look at applications. Let me look at those problems which I can solve with augmented reality. And that's when we came up with warehouse solutions. So I would say that we first identified the problem and then thought, okay, this is a big problem. Now, can I solve this with augmented reality? Now, once we got convinced on that, we said, okay, let's start this.
That seems like almost a better way and flow of creating the tech around it. It's like seeing a problem or a void and then just filling with the proper fit rather than just like, we're going to create this technology that can do everything and then people are going to have to adapt their problems to the technology. It's like, it's almost the other way around.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing with virtual reality. You always use this line, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Now they're trying to make virtual reality as real as possible, and
the
you're going to be
metaverse.
the metaverse. Like, you're going to be all connected in here, and you're going to be in this world, and you're going to forget what reality is. But why? What is the reason for that? Is it to escape reality? Maybe we should fix this world before we do that, and I think augmented reality will help us do that. It'll be a tool on top of what we're doing, rather than going the opposite direction.
Right. And there's one more thing that we constantly talk about. There's this discussion of AR versus VR, but that's not how the future is going to be.
No.
There are certain applications or certain things that VR does good. For example, entertainment. Awesome. I want to play a game in VR, not in AR.
Exactly.
I want to watch a movie in VR, not in AR. But if I want to, let's say, drive a car, there's no way I'm going to do that in VR. I'm sorry about that, but no.
No.
So there are some things that VR can do better, and there's some things that AR can do better. So the key thing is to identify what is good for what, and build applications for that. That is something that we need to do going forward.
Yeah, basically make a status quo for which works better and find the niche for both. And I feel like as a consumer right now, it's so new that people don't even know its existence. And I'd like to just thank you for being here, for me and Josh having this opportunity to be like shed some light on what's actually possible. Because it's like a brave new world. The future is going to be amazing. Augmented reality seems like a great tool. And it's just the progression of information storage and the way we perceive it is fascinating. And it's better than just more apps on a phone or a better camera on a phone. It's actually a greater leap into the future than what's happened in the recent years.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you have anything you want to add? Anything you want to plug in for the
Your
podcast?
website, Twitter.
I mean, first let me thank you guys for putting me out here and so that I can share what we think at our company about augmented reality, virtual reality, and the technology going forward. And it's been a great opportunity to sit here and talk. And I want to say that, hey, we at GetView are changing enterprises one step at a time with augmented reality. And do check us out on Facebook at GetView.
How do you spell it?
GetView.
Awesome. Krishna, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on our think tank.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Josh.
If you enjoyed this talk and want to check out more, go to our website at thinktankcast.com and subscribe with your email so we can send you all of the latest episodes, news, and updates right to your inbox.
Also, on our website, there will be show notes for this episode, some links to the things that we talked about, and more detailed information on our guests. If you want to see the video of this episode, it'll be on our YouTube channel, which is also linked on our website.
And if you want to keep in touch, we're on social media. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're at ThinkTankCast on pretty much everything, so you can find us on the web. And all of these details, again, will be linked to our website at thinktankcast.com. Hope to hear from you guys soon.
Amplified pattern recognition.
Why does the universe exist?
What features therefore?
We're about 5 Einsteins away from getting answers.